Welcome, guys, back to the podcast. I will try my hardest to make it as far as I possibly can. In this episode, like I said, I will try my hardest. I'll see how far I can make it. It's been a long weekend. I'm looking at my room right now. I'm in the middle cleaning it up. This past weekend, man, I came down with the flu. It hit me hard. Like it was, it was rough. And you know what was crazy? I don't know. It's been a few days since I did a podcast. I think it's been like 5 days since I filmed one. But yeah. So I was just hanging out, chilling at the house, working, whatever, going to school. And Friday morning, I struggled waking up. Like I just couldn't wake up. I overslept, and I just wasn't able to really function as well as I normally do. And then I didn't really think anything of it. The next day, Saturday came around, I got up and I went to work, and it was like halfway during my shift, I came down with like this weird, like this exhausting feeling. Like I've been reading this book called Brain on Fire, which is about a lady, Samantha, who she develops this very unique neurological disorder. I think that's what it is. I haven't gotten that far in the book, but as I'm reading it, I'm starting to in my head, I'm feeling like all these symptoms of my own body. I'm like, oh, I feel weak right now. I kind of have like a mood swing or whatever. And by like 10 a.m., I was, about 50, 60 pages into it. And then I start reflecting on myself. I'm like, I definitely am feeling like this. And then I was tripping out. I was really confused. It's like, well, this is just a book. Like clearly it's not going to translate into your own health. But it got really weird because then I started feeling like shit myself. I started feeling like absolute crap. I probably look like shit too, guys. I'm sorry. I'm struggling. I'm struggling a little bit. I just really wanted to get back on here. I really want to do another podcast with you guys. I really wanted to push out another episode because, I want to talk about something that I think is very important to talk about. But yeah, I will get into that. And you guys have read the title of the video. But I've just been sick for a while. I had the flu, went to the hospital. I was running 103-degree fever. Like a consistent 101 to 102 for about a solid day, I would say. Got up to 103, just been on a cycle of medicine every 4 hours, and I finally got my fever back down. I did not get the flu shot, and I think everybody who has been getting the flu this year hasn't been getting the flu shot. Another weird thing about this influenza is that I didn't throw up once. I didn't get sick once. There was twice where I felt like I was going to get sick, but I didn't actually get sick, which was nice. I did lose about 5 pounds because I just wasn't eating. I was eating. It was really weird because I could keep food down. I had no issue eating a lot of food. And I don't know how many times I've actually had the flu versus the stomach virus, because I've had times when I've thrown up, and I've always correlated that with the flu. But this time I was fine. I literally ate grilled cheese and that's about it. But I still lost all that weight. And I think what it was is I was shaking so bad. When my fever got so high, I was shaking so much. There was one point where I thought I was okay, and I just crashed at work, and I had to drive home. Because my girlfriend and we drove separate, and I had to drive home. And on the way home, I could barely see. I had to force myself to literally, I kept on poking my eyes to stay awake. It was really weird. And I felt like there was a parasite inside of my brain. But it was interesting because I never threw up. I was just shaking all the time. My fever was really high. I was eating fine. I was just not drinking enough water. And that was the main reason why, I think I was feeling so weak, is I just wasn't drinking water, and I had a high fever, and I think I lost all that weight literally just from water weight, from evaporation, from shaking and burning those calories that you do while you're trying to keep your body warm. but it was so weird because I couldn't control it, and it sounds stupid because, that's a common symptom, but I don't know how many times I actually had the flu versus having a stomach virus. And I think I had a stomach virus this time. I mean, a flu this time and not the stomach virus, even though I almost did throw up twice on the way to the hospital. But all I did was I finally realized how incredible it is to live in 2020 with all this medication. I just took ibuprofen and Tylenol every 4 hours. Let's say 1 a.m. I would take ibuprofen, and then 5 a.m. I would take Tylenol, and just back and forth like that. And that kept my fever down. I knew it was bad because once that stopped working, then I knew that's when I went to the hospital just to double check, because I didn't want to pick something up, since I didn't take the flu shot. I didn't want to possibly have to just to make sure, just to be safe. And it was during the Super Bowl, and nobody was there, and the doctors there were sweet. Like, they were all sweethearts, and they were all really nice. And I just slept there, honestly. Like, we just did like an evaluation, and I basically just caught up on a nap. And we watched the end of the Super Bowl, which I was super proud of. Andy Reid for winning a Super Bowl. I grew up not watching Andy Reid because it was right before my time, but I grew up. My dad loved Andy Reid. He was a coach for the Packers, and he was really tight with Brett Favre. And my dad loves Brett Favre, and therefore I was kind of brought into that cult. So I enjoyed watching Brett Favre a lot too. And then, Andy Reid losing his son and everything, it was so great to see him finally win a Super Bowl. It was like interesting because, he's already considered to be one of the greatest, coaches of all time. But it's, in football, unfortunately, not unfortunately, just like in every sport, in order to be the number one, you have to have a championship under your belt, which is completely understandable. And it was so nice to see Patrick Mahomes go out there and win the Super Bowl for Andy Reid. But it was kind of weird because I'm over here watching Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl at 24 years old, and I'm over here with influenza A, like a fat ass just laying on the hospital bed, sick. Like, I was like, fuck, man. But that's life, But yeah, it was a good weekend. Besides that, just kind of, I tried to work out for the first time today. It's been like 4 or 5 days. I didn't really do much, couldn't really do much. I was just exhausted. Like, I'm still struggling to catch my breath. And that's why I'm saying this podcast may not go as, up to the 40 minutes that I traditionally like to do the podcast. I like 40 minutes now. I don't like to do more than an hour. I don't want to get to the point where I'm just rambling, because I know that's exhausting for people to hear. And by the way, I'm so insecure. I feel so self-conscious in this shirt right here. I feel so fat right now. But you guys, that's not your guys' issue. That's my own issue. But I am down weight, which is nice. And, even though I did have the flu, I still am down about 1.5 pounds from what I was before I had the flu. So I think I'm gonna be able to maintain that. I'm down to about 208.4, and I started at 217. So, just a gradual weight loss, nothing crazy, not trying to just, burn myself out. No rush or anything. Like I said, I am doing like that like weight loss percentage or weight loss percentage with my parents, just to kind of motivate them to lose weight. I think they're all doing super well. Probably going to get both of them in here, and we can just like have them both here and get another mic hopefully, and we can just all talk about our experiences with the weight loss and how it's been helping us, just feel good about our bodies. But one thing I do want to talk about, something that I've been struggling with a lot, and something that I think I might be going back into therapy for, something that is a very real thing, and it's something that I think people need to recognize, and you can't ignore it. And something that is very dangerous and very prevalent among everybody and that's depression and feeling depressed and knowing when you're depressed. I was at the hospital, and the lady was like, any history of mental health or mental illness or mental crises. And I'm like, a few days ago I was pretty sad. I don't think I was depressed, but I've kind of been in a rut lately. And Taylor's like, he's been battling with depression, at least for like the last week. And at first I was really like kind of confused by it, because when it's about me, it's so much harder for you to peel back the layers and to be fully objective and objectively honest with yourself when it's about you, because you don't want to be the person who takes down your own superpowers. You don't want to have to critique yourself too much. And obviously that's that's a fine balance between being humble and self-criticizing yourself and self-sabotaging yourself too. It's a very fine balance. But like I thought about it, and then I talked to her for a little bit, and then I talked to myself for a little bit too. And it's been about a month and a half, 2 months now where, no, I would say about a month now, where everything I'm doing in my life just kind of feels like it's been on autopilot. And I was telling her, like, the only things I'm really getting true satisfaction at is, one, the podcast. I'm enjoying this more than anything else, really. I'm enjoying reading my books so much, and I'm enjoying my time with her. Those three things are making me feel fulfilled, and I feel like there's a purpose behind all of them. And I was really confused and it was really disheartening, and it made me feel depressed, because I've noticed that everything that I wanted a year ago, I'm kind of at now. I wanted to still be in school for my degree. I wanted to become a personal trainer, and I wanted to, work more, and I wanted to make more money, and I wanted these things, and I've been able to accomplish them. I've been able to stay in school. I'm in classes. I've been able to, pick up some personal training here and there where I can squeeze it in. And it's not that these things aren't what I love to do. It's what I love to do. But I think I've always been so bad at just treating things as designating things as just a place for happiness, or I think it's my first thing is exhausted. But I haven't been able to look at everything I've been doing. I haven't had the same view on it that I've had, 2-3 months ago. And it's not that I don't care about it. It's not that at all. It's that I want to care, but I don't know how to care. I don't know if I should care. Like, I don't know if it's like if you're going to go to war, that you want to win, that you want to survive, that depending on what you need to do, you need to get through this line of people, but you just don't have the tools. You don't have the weapons. And that's kind of how I'm feeling. Like, I know what I have to do, and I know that if I do it, it will work out and it would be a good victory, but I just don't have the emotional tools on my arsenal to apply myself in that way. And I think the reason why those tools aren't existing is because I've been depleted, and I have been in a weird trance of just burnout. It's hard for me to think back to a time, even a single night, where I did a task without looking for a return on my task. Like something that's just fun. Like something that's fun. Like, even when I used to just go bowling, I would go bowling, and then I would want to be a competitive bowler. Like, literally after I go bowling that same day, I'm on my phone looking for competitions, teams, like team bowling. It's so sporadic, and it's so obsessive, and it's so impulsive, and it's something that I think people don't talk about enough. And it leads you down this path of just emptiness inside. And there's something so dangerous about being a very empathetic person and being somebody who has the ability to accomplish tasks at a high level. And, I might be kissing my ass here, but I know I guarantee if you're listening to this podcast, you're that person too. And I know this is applicable to your life. It's hard when you just, everything you do, you take it on and you treat it as if it's a job, and you struggle kind of disconnecting that, like that the reality of a job, reality of living, and then setting aside time for yourself to just enjoy life. Like, I haven't been able to do that, and it's been really weird, because I have been saying things and I've been doing things that I've always said I wouldn't do, and I've done them, and it's like I set these goals like, once I do this, I'll be this. Once I do this, I'll be this. And it's like, I I know that's not how it works. And I know that's not how it works. And I'm completely aware of that. But at the same time, I didn't know how to really take a step back and pull myself off of those rails, because what if it, because it becomes an identity, right? Once you become the person, and once you find yourself taking that path of just working really hard and accomplishing things, and you don't want to become disappointment to yourself, right? And I know a lot of guys and a lot of girls. When I say guys, I'm both genders. I'm not saying guys isn't. I know I should be more inclusive, but I'm not. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my ignorance. But I think what I'm saying here is that for this past month, I've been in a very, not a very, but a base level depression, where it's just every time I'm going through the motions, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not bored with my task. I'm not angry with my task. I'm just kind of doing my task at the best ability as I can, if not even a better ability, but I'm just getting no satisfaction out of it. I'm treating it like it's part of a machine, and it's been taking, like, the difference between me and a machine is that I'm a human, so I have these emotions that I can tag along with the task that make me feel certain ways, that make me do them because I feel that way. It's like a byproduct of being a great fill in the blank doctor, surgeon, whatever it is, a lawyer, a police officer. A byproduct, the reason why you continue to do those tasks is because the feelings you get from accomplishing the specific goals within that task are enjoyable or disappointing, so you can become enjoyable, so you can climb a mountain. And I've just kind of haven't been able to enjoy anything. I've just kind of been like, I don't know, like, just kind of doing well, and nobody would guess. No one would notice. I wouldn't notice. I didn't notice. But at the same time, I just haven't been doing great, and it was upsetting to realize, because it's not something that you just decide, yep, not doing too well, kind of depressed, and I'm going to be okay now. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. I have to make conscious decisions on what I'm going to do next. How am I going to get myself out of this? How am I going to start looking at everything I do and finding the purpose again on why I'm doing them? And this is something I think is so important. We all have these, like, beautiful ideas of what we want, these beautiful futures that we create in our own heads, that we develop, and we do it kind of with a reckless abandon. We don't really think about the consequences of it. We just do things, and I think a lot of people just do things, and there's nothing wrong with just doing things. But once you start doing the things, and once you start hitting that cycle of one thing falling into the hands of another, and it just continues on that way, I think it's very important to develop the skill, or to put off time to reevaluate what you're doing. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's the purpose of me to go to school? And that's how I felt. Like, I kind of felt like that way about school. Like, I was so, it's a completely different tone of what my previous podcasts have been. But the truth is, it's like, I was in school because it was a competition. I had to get certain grades or I couldn't continue on school. That is so scary for a lot of people. For me, that's what kept me in school. That's literally was my driving force behind staying in school, because I didn't have a second option. I couldn't just remove myself from school again because I was spending money. I had to stay in school, and now when I'm in this, in this semester, it's like, no, you're doing this intrinsically for yourself. You're getting this degree for yourself. But I'm not good at being good to myself. I'm the worst enemy to myself. I will break myself apart. I will suicidal thoughts, like just dangerous thoughts I have about my own body, my own flesh, and so it's really not good if I have to rely on my own brain to give me a check mark on any of my tasks. And it's kind of been at that point lately where I have to rely on myself to give myself a pat on the back, which does not exist with me. And it's something that I need to work on. It's something that I need to work on. Or I will continue down this path. I will continue down this path of just never feeling fulfilled with any type of success that I experience, and that just sucks because when you do, objectively, when people say, well, I'm proud of you, you're doing well, you never see that, you never see that, and you're never fulfilled with it. And then you start getting angry. Then you start, then you push people out of your life because you think that's by pushing people out of your life, it frees up time for you to be able to accomplish these tasks, and these tasks are what's going to lead you to that success and that feeling of fulfillment and happiness, and that's depressing as shit because that's not true. It's just not true. That's not how it works. And it's something that, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining here, fuck it. Maybe I do sound like I'm complaining, but I think it's something that is very important for people to hear. And I think it's something that people need to hear more. You need to take care of up here. You need to take care of your brain. You need to take care of your thoughts. You need to filter your thoughts. You need to understand them. You need to write them out. You need to think about them. You need to bounce them off with other people. You need to have them, you need to critique your own thoughts. You need to check yourself when you're too high or when you're too low. You need to work on yourself. What triggers me to go in this downward spiral? Like if you're an alcoholic, you can't just go out to the club. You can't just go out to a restaurant if it's Friday night. If you're sober for a month, you can't just do it. You have to take precautionary steps. And that's something that I think all of us need to do. Addict or not, I'm not an addict, but I'm very self-sabotaging. I will beat myself up. I don't think that's the word. Self-critical to a point where it's self-endangerment, I guess. I will destroy myself. I would rip down my own self-identity. That's why I have no issue with, when people say anything about what I do and if I'm doing something wrong, and that's because I have no issue with that, because trust me, whatever you say about me or whatever your thoughts are about me, I've already multiplied that by 20 and I've directed that, aimed, took, fired, shot that at myself already, and it's like, I need to filter that out, I need to at least find it to be in a less critical and dangerous, it needs to be less dangerous, it needs to be more constructive, and it needs to be more realistic. Maybe I could tell people about how I'm feeling, and that could help people, that could help myself, because they could break it down. It's like, well, I don't know, like that's not really, I don't think that's really what you meant here. And I could be like, oh no, I think that's, no, maybe that's, maybe you're right, maybe you're right on that, maybe you have a point, and maybe I should, maybe I should listen to you more often. But I don't know. I think that's something that we all need to work on, and I think it's something that I need to work on, and it's just been in a weird. I wouldn't say a dark place. Like depression has this overarching view that it's just dark and suicidal. It's like, no, that's not what depression is. Depression is just not. It's just lack of emotions, not negative emotions. Just lack of emotions, or uncontrolled emotions, or emotions that aren't relatable, or they aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? They aren't correct. Like they aren't like if you're at a funeral, if you're at a funeral and you're not sad, but you're kind of just content. That's a bad example, but you know what I mean, like emotions that are uncalled for. Yeah, uncalled for. Like that's, those are erratic behaviors, and that's stuff that, it's not right. I think it's I think that the days of just biting your lips and, turning the other way and just not doing anything about it is destructive, not just for yourself, but it's destructive for your family. It's destructive for your future and whoever that's going to bring into your life, because you're not just going to decide to fix it one day, because that's not how it works, because you develop that habit to act that way. So in order to break that habit, you're going to have to really intrinsically look at yourself and reverse engineer it, yeah, I don't know. It's something that's been on my mind for these past few days, and it's something that I think is very important for people to spend more time thinking about and looking out for people who are struggling with it. We live in a really weird, like, polarizing world. We live in a world today where it's been weirdly accepted to, we live in a weird situation right now in 2020 where we've spent the last 5 to 10 years trying to, to try to convince people to be nicer to other people, to be more accepting of more groups, to be more accepting of more communities and different walks of path. But, what's come out of that is more hatred towards people. It's really weird. It's a really weird time. There's people who are trying to push these views and accepting of everybody, which is beautiful. Everybody should be accepted. Every walk of earth should be accepted. All the communities, all of them should be. But at the same time, if we're gonna need acceptance, we can't have hatred, and it's disgusting what you see. It really is. People are so mean to each other. On social media, people are just brutal. People on Twitter are just brutal. They're just saying shit that is so ridiculous. And you can say it starts at the top with their president, who has said some very harsh things to people. And I don't care what, red or blue, I don't care what your color is. But objectively looking at it, he's said some nasty shit to people. And I'm not saying he's a bad dude for that. I'm just saying he's done that, and you can say it starts at the top, just like any great business or any shitty business. It all starts at the top with the owner. But it's just people are looking to just attack people with like pitchforks and getting ready to attack. And what that's doing is, if everyone's looking to attack somebody, then everyone's preparing a defense to defend when they do get attacked, and then within the defense, they're gonna attack the other person even harder. So then we kind of create this like we create this very dark and twisted, just nasty world where everyone is looking over their shoulder to make sure that, oh, they're ready to attack you. If they come after me, look, I got something for you. Oh, you're gonna make fun of that person? I'm gonna put it on you, man. It's a weird time period, and I think we're losing ourselves in this fundamental understanding that we're all human. We're all flawed. This idea that your one mistake can ruin your whole life is crazy. And there's some mistakes, there's some things that you do that, sorry, you lost the game. Game over. You don't get another chance in this world. You just don't get another chance. You rape a child, you rape an adult, you don't get another chance. You murder somebody, you don't get another chance. You shoot up a school, you don't get another chance. You don't get another chance. But then there's some things where you should get a second chance, and it's like that's where we've kind of blended everything into like those first three things. Like, we don't give people second chances. You do me wrong. Like, you always see that shit like on quotes and stuff, like with a lion's head in the background, like growling. It's like you always see me alone because of all the people that done me wrong. It's like, well, fuck you, bro. Turn back and tell those people that it's okay, because you're gonna be unhappy as shit, And then by you being unhappy, you're gonna piss other people off, and it's just no one's gonna be happy. The world's gonna be sick. It's gonna be a sickening world. It's like that's what we're doing. Everyone's trying to just show how great they are at virtue signaling and attacking the other side. It's such bullshit. It's so weird. Like, when's the last time you saw a Democrat and a Republican agree on something? It's like you don't. Why? Because apparently you can't. Apparently that's not allowed. Apparently we live in a world where, it's like if like the Super Bowl, the 49ers and the Chiefs, completely different teams, but they're still a football team. They still have a quarterback. They still have the basic plays. They still have the basic whatever. They play on the same field, but they're different. They're different. But in this world that we live in the politics, we are refusing to believe that there's still the kind of the same thing. What do we all want? We all want happiness. What do we all want? We all want peace. What do we all want? We want to help each other. Now there's different tentacles that come off of that we think, depending on what party you're in, is how you achieve those. But the way you don't achieve them is by taking your fucking grenade launcher and shooting it at the other party. That's not how you do it. It's not how you do it. That actually strengthens the other party. It makes them more aggressive, and it makes them more angry. And then people get angry. It's chaos. It's chaos. We're living in a 2020, 2019 is like a world where it's just taken over by kindergartners. I mean, I watched that. I didn't watch it. I don't watch any of that shit. I don't watch any of the debates. I didn't even vote I didn't vote in 2016. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it was the State of the Union. Fuck, what's her name? Nancy Pelosi ripped up a piece of paper of Donald Trump's and didn't shake her hand. What I saw, she literally didn't shake his hand. Or he didn't shake her hand. What the fuck? What are we doing? You're a 78-year-old man. What are we doing? Are we are we children? Are we children? Are we good? I've been so the arrogance of the world is the ignorance. Is it dumb people, who don't have the ability to actually develop logical thoughts, a thought process, that's what I was thinking. Is that why flat earth exists? Because you don't have the ability to think, all you have to do is take one step and say, oh wait, no, that's not true. Do you not, I don't know, as many times as I want to think that we're living in the smartest world of all time, we have anti-gravity people. Legit people who don't believe that gravity exists. There's people that don't think, that the world is, a sphere. They think it's a flat earth. And it's it's confusing. It's confusing, and that shit would depress the fuck out of me because you can't ignore it, and that's a vice I have. Is I have this thing that I hate about myself, where I have these antennas that just shoot up from my brain, and they are always so attracted to dumb shit people say. I don't know why I do it. I wish I didn't do it. But if you say something that's stupid as shit, I'm like, whoa, what? Hold up. And the odds of me actually confronting you about it, what did you say? It's probably not that high, because I don't know if I want to hear what you had to say. Because there's some things that shouldn't be explained, because they shouldn't even have the time to be talked about. Like flat earth, that shouldn't. But then again, it should be, because it needs to be shut down. I sound like I shouldn't be angry about it, but if an alien if an alien species came down and the first person they met was one of our anti-gravity, flat earthers, humans, that's the first one you met, dude, dude, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. Dude, you kiss our cool inventions like Apple phone or, like electric cars or, like the wheel and all these things that we think are super cool. You kiss those goodbye because the alien's going, huh? What? I just flew from space, bro. I just I flew to your sphere, and I'm on your sphere right now. You're gonna tell me that the world's flat? Yeah. Well, fuck. I'm out. See you, dude. Dude, we could have been friends with the aliens, bro. But you left flat Earth out there to talk. No, keep no, keep flat Earth in. What are you doing? Go back, buddy. Go back. Go, keep eating your burgers. Like, come on. What are we doing? I don't know, man. It's weird. It's a weird world we live out there. And all I'm saying is just take care of your own brain. Don't let this craziness of the political world that we live in. I've had multiple people recently within the past weeks come up to me and yell at me about politics. Literally yell at me. I don't know what it is about me, but people assume I am pro-Trump. Pro-Trump. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm a white dude. I'm about 6 foot. I'm a bigger guy. Whatever. I probably just look like the ultimate view of what white privilege is, which I probably do. But dude, people are just so aggressive now these days. It's a weird world. I was listening to Noam Chomsky. He was talking about this. He was talking about economic growth and I think it was happiness growth. Everyone's so balls deep about the economy. Economy's growing. Yeah. More jobs. He says every superpower is a superpower because they stole it from a previous superpower. They stole the intelligence from another superpower. So a superpower is just stolen property. That's what England did to India. That's what we did to England. India did that with China. You just steal the property and you make it better. And China's kind of doing that with us. And it's so economic growth in theory is just kind of a thing that you steal, and you can change a few rates here and there and whatever. You can yell loud enough, people might want to work harder. Who knows? Watch a few motivational videos, people might want to hit their hammer a little bit harder. But he says something that was really beautiful. And Noam Chomsky, he's a linguist and he's a political activist, but he's a really really smart guy. One of our brighter minds of our generation, not my generation. Dude's 91. Fucking great. I'm just kidding. My grandparents and my great grandparents, probably my grandparents' generation, where he said, the economic growth isn't cool. I get it. It's fine. I get it. But let's look at how are the people? How are the people in the world? Are the people happier? Are they happier? Are they living longer? Is it less suicide? Is it less drug use? Not party drug. I'm talking withdrawal from society drug use. Self-hatred drug use. How's obesity? Because obesity, there's a strong correlation between there's a fucking fact that the correlation between obesity and fulfillment of a life is 1 and 1. It's basically the same thing. How are the people around you? Are they okay? Because at the end of the day, yes, you need a decent economy, but suicide rate is through the roof in wealthy families. Through the roof for men. 3 in 4 suicides are men. Success is not an indicator of financial success. Financial economy, growth of an economy is not going to be your indicator of a successful world. Maybe it is when we were a caveman, whatever, where you just strong versus strong, like, I fight you with my club, you fight me with your club. But let's start looking at the quality of our people. How are our people doing? Like I'm gonna vote this year. I'm gonna vote, and I'm loving. I like Bernie, and I like Andrew Yang, and I like Tulsi Gabbard. I love these people. I don't know, they're just cool. I like listening to new ideas. And I'll probably get hate for that, but I think it's important for us to realize that the quality of life, the quality that we all live every day is so damn important, And I think when you are kind of in a state where you're not happy, you're not even happy, but the colors outside just don't look the same as they did like a month ago. I think it's time for you to make a change. I had to do that. I was just chasing all these like, gotta do this. It led me down a dangerous path, but I lied to you guys. I did go ahead and do a 40 full podcast. Can't really talk right now. Next week, I should be able to get out a Tuesday, Thursday podcast. We'll see. Maybe it might just be Tuesday or Thursday. Got a few projects starting to come up. I will be home for one weekend. Not at Taylor's. She's going to be away. Unfortunately, I can't go. But I'll probably film a few podcasts there so I can keep up to date with you guys. But I might miss a week where I do 2 podcasts, and I might just do 1. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this here. It's about 42 minutes long. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, take care of your brain, take care of your health, and I'll catch you guys in episode 63, I think it is. Have a great, great, beautiful day.